Hey everyone and welcome back to the Sports Zection. So, preseason in the United States is basically done. We only have one preseason game left and that's the one at home against Inter Milan, and then we are playing against Manchester City on day one for the Premier League. Now, it's safe to say that preseason has not worked out the way we would love it to, right? One win, one draw, two losses so far. Plenty of goals conceded, and that's basically the problem yet again, right? Because last season was a record season of conceding goals. Towards the end, we were of course playing much better. Now, the problem is still the same. Maresca says that it's a habit that needs to be broken, but let's be honest, habits happen when you play week in, week out, the same pattern, the same players, the same formation. Last season, I'm pretty sure you all remember what happened. Well, each and every week it seems like we have another back four. Why is that? Because we had injuries, right? Our fullbacks, I think, barely played together. Center backs, there were also injuries, so that switched around as well. So saying that it's a habit, in my opinion, is a bit of a weak excuse. Now, again, preseason, a high line, getting caught, this is a huge problem. This is what I've talked about in the previous video. I'm going to talk about this in this one as well. A bit the same as Football Meta, his concerns in his latest video. Not going to react to his video again, etc., etc. You can go watch him. Great channel. But I will say this, on the ball, we are seeing major improvements, right? The patterns of play, the triangles, the boxes. On the ball, no problem. The problem is off the ball and especially in the transition. Why is that? Well, in my opinion, it's because one, still early days, and two, very young squad. Lack of experience here, lack of leadership on the field is a big problem off the ball. You might think this is a lazy excuse, but I don't think it is. I think plenty of great teams off the ball, for example, Real Madrid, right? When they played against Manchester City, they were defending most of the game. How did that work? Well, they had the experienced players that played for Real Madrid for quite a long time. They lead on the pitch. They tell the youngsters, look, we will be defending a lot, so do your part. When we have the ball, be ready as well. At Chelsea right now, we don't really have that leadership, especially not at the back. We previously had Thiago Silva, which definitely could have helped all these youngsters for another season. But we did not give him another contract. We decided to sign Tosin and try our luck with whatever we've got left right now. Which fine, okay. I still think Tosin is a great signing. I mean, he was free, brings some leadership, some Premier League experience as well. Let's see what happens there. But let me show you a couple of things. So, as we discussed with the recent game against Real Madrid, right? Look at this. Is this a habit? Maybe, but this is a very bad habit. Super high line, and as always, one Real Madrid player between two Chelsea players. We've got here Levi Colwyn, basically half asleep, just like plenty of other players as well. Great pass and destroys our line. The same thing here. Great goal, but an even better pass by Vinicius. The same story, right? One Real Madrid player, two Chelsea players. One Real Madrid player, two Chelsea players. This is something they will need to learn and need to adapt. That's also one thing I want to mention. I hope that Maresca can adapt. I hope he can figure it out. I hope he can see, look, maybe some of these players will not fit the system, so sometimes I will have to tweak the system in order for that player to be at his best. Now, you might say, oh, if that player doesn't fit the system, sell him. No, I don't think that's how it should work. Then moving on to the game at Celtic, right? I analyzed that game as well, so you can find that video in the top right corner. But just a quick picture right here to show you yet again. What are they doing? Are they paying attention to who? To the players? No, they're all watching the ball, By the way, if you remember, this player right here was constantly in an offside position just to screw with their heads. Constantly in offside position. Then again, we've got here one Celtic player between two Chelsea players. We've got a runner here as well. He's screaming, look, he's running. I analyzed that game in depth, so you can watch that. I'm not going to repeat myself, but the same mistakes are happening here as well. The high line, well, here it's not that high, but it's killing us. The other goal, same story. One Celtic player running between both Chelsea players. Of course, here it was a small mistake by Madueke. So again, on the transition, you have to be alert. Clearly, they were not. Moving on to the Wrexham game. Can you explain to me what is happening here? Same story, we lose the ball. I believe this was Ashankpong. Maybe this, okay, I don't know who this guy was, but we lose the ball, and then boom, on the transition, the defenders here are nowhere to be seen, gets the ball, and it's over. Again, the defensive phase of the ball transition to a more defensive shape. This is something they will have to adapt. This is something that they will have to learn way quicker than expected because the Premier League is unforgiving. Now, as you know, the formation-wise, it's a bit like this, right? We've got a back four, which when we start playing turns into a back three, but then the goalkeeper has to come in as well. So we're back to a back four. We've got Reece James here, right center back. Tosin, I've put Colwill and then Gusto as the inverted one. Could be Gusto playing right back when Reece is suspended. So whoever is going to play at left back, it's either going to be Levi Colwill, which is not a natural left back, or maybe Kukurea, which hasn't played that much. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But basically, you're like this, all right? Then Gusto inverted, Lavia, Nkunku. I think Nkunku in this position is much better because he could help Madueke. If Madueke here has the ball, he wants to dribble or whatnot, Nkunku can make those runs inside the box, which could help Madueke cut into his left foot and then try to score a goal, or 1-2 between both of those players. Yes, I've put here Marc Gui, even though I think he will go on loan, or maybe we're going to play here with Jackson, or Samu remains to be seen. And I've put here Mudryk because, to be honest, it doesn't really make that much of a difference if it's Mudryk or Sterling. Both of them probably suck. So yeah, Mudryk is here. Now you might understand why sometimes Chilwell played as a left winger for Pochettino, because he probably doesn't trust Mudryk or Sterling to do the job. Anyways, Enzo, I would love him to play in these types of positions, right? More as a Cesc Fabregas type of player. I think that could suit him way more. But when we are attacking like this, you see the problem, right? Reece James would love to go always a bit further up the pitch. But let's say he is disciplined, right? Let's say he stays here. Sanchez, of course, as a goalkeeper, you don't want him to be right here. He will stay right there. There is a gap here to be played. Of course, you expect Tosin to come here, Levi Colwill to go here, and then Gusto could go back to his natural, well, semi-natural position, or basically the flip. You've got like this on the transition, right? When we lose the ball. Now, will it always happen? No, you need to train this, right? This needs to be an automatism or whatever you want to call it. But the problem here is definitely one of the weaknesses of the Maresca system. It's that back line. It's too high sometimes, leaves way too many gaps. Of course, these players right here, Gusto and Lavia, do have to play their own role. But yeah, sometimes I think they will just need to tweak it and play normally, right? Play with a back four and play 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 or whatnot, and not always invert. Sometimes you need to go to the basics, and then from there, once you get a little bit more, let's say, practice, experience, momentum, then you can try and change things up, right? But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Look, on the ball, I think we've done quite well with the players that we have. I still think we had to buy a player here on the left because Mudryk or Sterling will not be doing the job that they have to. Striker-wise, it's a topic for another day. I actually talked about Samu and Osimhen and all of that. That video will be in top right corner as well. But the problem is definitely this part of the pitch right here, right? The defensive shape. That's something they need to improve ASAP. And as you well know, the Premier League is not in a forgiving mood, has never been. So if we start the league by conceding too many goals, not actually winning games, you know what will happen. Media pressure, fan pressure, social media pressure on the team, on the coach, on the players. So hopefully Enzo in the next coming weeks, he can figure it out. He can put in all the details. He can put the players in the right places and make sure the players know what they're doing, especially off the ball. Because off the ball, that's our biggest weakness. On the ball, I'm already seeing great progress, so congrats to them, but this is just the start. That's just my opinion. Do share your down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.